How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into 14P Fantasy. I am your host, Justin Wright. Today, we are talking start or sit for the running back position. This is part 2, so if you missed part 1, go check it out. There's 6 other names on there. But if you're new to our videos, we're talking RB2s, some flexes, and then some guys to outright sit at the running back position in the final week of the regular season here. Before we get into it, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us over on Twitter, drop questions, comments, anything like that you have. We'll always, answer what we can. And, we love to interact with you guys. So drop that below. All right, let's get into it. Number 1 on the list, we have James Conner. James Conner has scored a touchdown in 9 of his last 10 games. A lot of those included Chase Edmonds being active. And that's important because Chase Edmonds obviously is active this week, back off of that extended IR stint. So why does James Conner come in as an RB2? This is going to be a fast-paced moving game, most likely, divisional game, high scoring, which means there's going to be opportunities in the red zone, and that is where James Conner has thrived. If he has enough chances, he's going to find the end zone. Again, we've seen it basically every game for almost 2.5 months now. I get Chase Edmonds is back, and that's going to take some work, but I think right now they're going to ease Chase Edmonds back in, and that should give James Conner enough red zone work, enough passing work, and enough, just in general rushing work to make him a pretty safe RB2 with RB1 upside, obviously, if he finds the end zone once or twice, like he's been doing, again, over the last 10 weeks here. So if you have James Conner, I am still putting him back into my lineups, really with no hesitation. And on the flip side, we have Chase Edmonds. Unfortunately, if you're the James Conner owner, like I said, he is back. But I'm not going to play him this week. In what is most likely a must-win or a must-not-lose situation in fantasy, you cannot trust Chase Edmonds because you have no idea what you're getting from him. As far as a snap share goes, a workload, targets, rushing, all of that, it's too ambiguous to say you have to fire him up. And he was solid before he got injured, but the ceiling isn't there to justify, I think, putting him into your lineup because, again, that touchdown work, the red zone work, all of it goes to James Conner. So Chase Edmonds is really a nice floor play. And this week, I don't know what the floor is. So how can you trust him? I want no part of Chase Edmonds in my lineups this week. Moving on, we have Kareem Hunt back for his second game off of IR. And now that there's a bye week in between that and the first, I expect to see a return to normalcy for Kareem Hunt. Before the IR stint there, he had played 6 games, had broken 15 points in 4 of those 6, found the end zone in the majority of them as well. I want Kareem Hunt. If you have him, you're thrilled he's back. You're playing him because, again, he is a guy that, in a pretty solid offense can find the end zone once to twice a week. So you have pass catching work, you have rushing upside, you have touchdown upside. And honestly, the game itself is going to be a hard-fought divisional game. But Baltimore's defense gives up a lot of big plays. That is what they are known for, and Kareem Hunt can take advantage of that. So on just the off chance he breaks a big run, finds the end zone, or really just even catches 4 to 5 passes, I am excited to play Kareem Hunt this week as an RB2. Moving on to our flexes here, or one of our flexes here, we have Chuba Hubbard versus the Atlanta Falcons. And I get what you're probably thinking. Well, how is he not an RB2? Christian McCaffrey's out. This is obvious. I'm not 100% sure we're going to see the same workload for Hubbard that we did early in the season because now Amir Abdullah is here. He has established a role in this offense, and even the last game they played, Amir Abdullah outsnapped Hubbard. He out-targeted Hubbard. He out-touched Hubbard. That's concerning. I mean, do I think Amir Abdullah is the running back to own? No, I do think this is still a Hubbard's backfield. But if he's not seeing 70, 80% of the snaps, I don't know if he's talented enough to really capitalize on it. So if this ends up being a weird, ambiguous committee, I'm not sure you need to start Hubbard. But again, if you have him and you're not looking at, a guy like KJ Osborne, who I prefer over Hubbard, maybe he finds his way into your flex. So he's definitely in consideration. He's not a sit 100% like Chase Edmonds is, but I am slightly hesitant, in a must-win matchup because Amir Abdullah is kind of flying under the radar right now. So that could mess with his value. Moving on to our second flex here. It's Jamaal Williams versus Denver. Jamaal Williams would be higher if I had confidence that Denver was just going to blow the doors off of Detroit. And I don't know if that happens. Because obviously the upside for Jamaal Williams would come with pass work. He didn't get that last week because they were winning and competitive and they didn't need to throw every play. So now when you're looking at this game specifically, you have two teams in the bottom 10 in pace of play. So expect this game's going to go quick, to be perfectly honest. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, Jamaal Williams are probably going to get a lot of work on the ground. But again, Denver is a tough matchup. So that could hurt Jamaal Williams. And again, if it's a tight game, he's not going to get the pass work he needs to be a high-end RB2 like a lot of us have hoped. So with that being said, I think you got to leave him in as a flex, but temper expectations. The pace of play is my main concern here. And to close us out, we have Saquon Barkley, who has been all kinds of disappointing this season. Obviously, the last 3 games have been abysmal. You get Mike Glennon as the starting quarterback. You get the Chargers coming off of a big win against the Bengals. I'm still going to trust him as an RB2, though. I am pretty confident Barkley will find a way to bounce back. And even if he doesn't, have a Saquon Barkley-esque performance, which, may not happen again this season, the Chargers are going to beat the crap out of the Giants, which means garbage time is going to be there. A lot of dump-offs from Mike Glennon. Barkley was working extra time in practice on the jugs machine because he dropped 2 passes last week. So he's going to be a featured part of this. Kadarius Toney's going to be out. Sterling Shepard's going to be out. He's probably going to be their best pass-catching weapon. Maybe it's a 14 to 15 point week. Maybe he doesn't find the end zone because this team's not going to be able to actually move the ball that well. That's fine. I still think that gets him to an RB2 finish. So if I got Barkley, I am firing him up, even though I know it's not fun in any way, but what are you going to do? All right, that's all I have. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Like the video, follow us everywhere. Not in life, but like on Twitter. And then, drop questions, comments, that kind of stuff. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.